When getting weapon lights, something to consider is your holster. A lot of people go for the weapon lights and they don't think about the holster options for it, especially if you're doing something like tack night, or if you're going to do something like beginner action pistol, an action pistol. Something that people don't think about is getting the proper holster for it. I always recommend getting something like the Safariland holsters. I always tell people it's better to get the holster with the light option and then getting the light later. Most holsters with light options don't necessarily need to have the light mounted to have proper locking mechanisms for the weapon. For your everyday carry, the same thing is true. Getting a good holster that could accommodate your light is very important, whether you have something like this small stream light or whether you decide to go with something bigger like the X300. Having the proper holster for it makes a big difference. Especially for everyday carry, people think about how often they're really going to use their light on their weapon. Anytime you go out at night, half of the day, half of the 24 hours is dark roughly, so having a weapon light is very important. Different lights to consider, I always say go with kind of the industry standard, which tends to be your Surefires and your stream lights. There's other lights you could get. I really wouldn't recommend those. Just like I said, the industry standard really jumps to stream lights and Surefires. I would avoid lights that have a lot of multi-function to them, something that's nice and easy with just a single push button for a push to hold, and as soon as you release it, the light comes off. Once you start getting into strobing and high beam, low beam options on your light, as you're trying to activate that under pressure or being quick, you start unintentionally activating different features on the light. The more simple a light is, the better. Another good thing to get with rifle mounted lights are the activation switch, so you could place your hand in a proper grip and still activate your light on your rifle. If I had to go with one individual light that's a kind of a do-it-all light, I would say it's the X300 from Surefire. You can mount it onto a pistol. With proper placement on a rifle, you could still put it on a rifle and get good light activation. Being at home and dry firing with your weapon light is very important, but actually putting it to use with recoil involved, moving and shooting, throwing in the reloads, and hand placement during recoil is very important. Showing up at low light tack night is a great way to get hands-on time with recoil involved with your weapon light, whether it's rifle or pistol or even your everyday carry. This is a great way to actually put some use to that weapon light and get good practice in. As always, be safe, have fun, and train often.